Hi, welcome to Introduction to Photography. My name is Heather Sandy and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. I have taught Intro to Photography face-to-face. I'm excited to be bringing this class online. I am the art instructor at Olney Central College, so I've taught other classes kind of in the arts area. It's my specialty. I've taught things like painting, drawing, art history, art introduction, art appreciation. It's kind of a whole gamut of classes. So anyways, I am glad we're here. I'm excited to get the course rolling. The best way in general to contact me, and I'll go over this a couple times, is through either email or calling me. You're going to have a much faster response if you send me an email. Obviously, I'm not always sitting in my office. I'm going out and about and teaching. I'm doing my thing. So if you send me that email, it will be faster. And that's at sandyh@iecc.edu. The very first thing, so, again, as much as you want to hear about my exciting life, I'm going to go ahead and start going over just a few things in terms of starting this course. So if you found this video, this is a good sign. It means you've made it to the Let's Get Started tab. So let's go ahead and look at some of those things on that page. Give me just a second to switch modes here. Alrighty. So we are currently looking at that very home page. So it is, again, our kind of landing dock here, the big overview that you should have seen. You click on this Let's Get Started, which again, you are in this module, so that's a good sign. And it takes you right to the very beginnings. And this actual module has a lot of important information. So if you find yourself being like, does Heather accept late work? Or how was I supposed to install Adobe again? That is all going to be in this Let's Getting Started module. Before I dive into this, I just wanted to mention overall, there are 13 different modules. So you can scroll down, you can start to look at them. I'm not going to read every single one to you right now, but we cover things. We start at the basics. We're trying to build up those blocks to some great photography. So next week we'll start looking at our cameras and editing photographs overview. Typically when I go through a module, there are going to be learning objectives and tasks. Then there's going to be a PowerPoint, some videos to watch, an assignment to do, so you can actually, use photography. And then you're going to upload those to a Flickr group and set up a discussion and sorry, I was tired thinking about it. So then you will work through those as we progress through the semester. Composition is the following one. So again, make sure you start to scroll through. You don't have to have all of this completed next week, but just get an idea for some of the courses, some of the objectives that we're going to be partaking in. So portraits, giants and fairies, etc. So going back up to the Let's Get Started tab, I'm going to go over the course overview really quickly and then the syllabus. So a lot of these you're going to be looking through on your own, but I did want to mention what this course is about. So you are going to be introduced to the basic techniques in digital photography. The camera, photographic composition, and digital editing techniques will be covered in this course. So I've already went over the modules. You do have 13 modules that you're going to work through. And like I said, the best way to communicate through this class is through discussion posts or emails. Typically, I try to get back to you within 24 hours. If you send me a message on, say, Friday night, I may not get back to you until Sunday or Monday. If you do email me about an assignment about 20 minutes before it's due, I'm not going to answer you within that 20-minute window, most likely. So my working assumption is at least a day for Heather to respond to me. I try to grade everything a week within the module due date, so you get that feedback. You don't have to have taken any other classes for this course, but you do need to install Adobe Creative Cloud Photography software and create a Flickr account to complete the course. We will go over that in just a minute. So I'm going to go back to my modules and I'm going to go over the syllabus with you briefly. So these are all online for you to access constantly. If there's something that you're a little bit confused about or I skip over, feel free to look at these documents on your own. You can see again, we're taking this spring 2019 online. Here is my contact information. So sandyh@iecc.edu is my email, the best way to contact me. You can also see my office phone number, and I do return phone calls if you leave me a message. It's area code 618-395-7777, extension 2220. So best way to contact me, again, email, but I will return your calls. You can see general information about the course, the overview again, expectations and goals. I expect you to try. I expect you to be doing your work. I expect you to be participating. Hopefully this is nothing groundbreaking by now. And here's where you can actually see the required text and materials. This course does have a textbook. It's Tony Northrup's DSLR book, How to Create Stunning Digital Photography, and you can get that at the bookstore. You do need a digital camera. It is better to have one that is a DSLR that can make adjustments for depths of field. You can use a point and shoot. I don't want you to rush out and spend $600 on a camera if that was not your intention for the course. I want you to be using the camera that you use. But you are going to get better pictures the better camera that you have. It's just a pretty solid rule of thumb there. Give me just a second, we'll show you the camera I'm using. So I'm a person that kind of takes their electronics to the grave. I'm still using, this is a Canon Rebel T3i. So this is a camera that I will show you demos on. I know recently the T6i's went on sale, so it's still a great little guy. I got it in 2014 and it's still going strong. So when I do some demos on certain modes, you can see here's the back of it, I will talk specifically about this model. That's when you may have to look inside your owner's manual to find something a little bit different. You don't have to buy any other lenses if you don't want to. This kit lens will work just fine. What you might think about would be a telephoto lens if you were going to add a lens of any kind. That is optional. That is not necessary to complete this course. Just an additional item if you're really interested. Before I go back to showing you the screen, I don't have my memory card in my camera. You do want to make sure you have a memory card that fits your camera. So the bigger the megabytes or gigabytes on these things, the more pictures they hold. It's up to you how many you start. I would start at least 16 personally. I have one actually that is 64 gigabytes and it's pretty much full. So I'd say start at 16. You might already have one that came with your camera and you can certainly work with that. So photography, camera is important. Let me go ahead and go back to that other window. So as we are looking again at that syllabus, the other couple things I wanted to highlight in terms of material, I showed you that memory card. Having a portable flash drive with at least 4 gigabytes of storage is important. I also use Google Drive to back up my work. We live in this world, right, where technology is great, but we work really hard on something and then maybe the power goes out or my computer dies, and I speak from personal experience with all of this. I want to make sure that I'm saving my hard work. You are going to need access to a computer and internet connection that is capable of running Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom, and I'll go over that in a little bit. And you will need a subscription to Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom. They do have a monthly rate. It's $9.99 for a photography package. There really isn't a free replacement for Photoshop or Lightroom. They are really important softwares for digital photo editing. So I know that, yes, okay, it's another 40 bucks, but I think about the price of a textbook. When I took biology in undergrad, I paid $125 for that book, and that was used. So just think of it, instead of having, a really expensive textbook, we're using this software. You can see our policy for student services. It is our policy, IECC, to provide reasonable accommodations to students with disabilities. If you would like to request academic support services, please contact me or the Learning Skills Center Academic Assistance Center. So if that applies to you, please let me know ASAP. I'm going to go through some of this because I want to make sure I do accept late work. I do take points off for it being late. So try and turn things in on time. You're going to get a better grade if you do. The other thing I wanted to point out, it's a class. People ask me, how are you grading me? There on page 3 is a projects and points possible. You can see we have 13 assignments, 50 points each, a final portfolio, 8 quizzes, and 14 discussion postings. So it is a lot. It's a point heavy class, 970 points. Right below it is that grading scale. This is a typical A, B, C, D, F course. And then finally, we get to the last couple pages, and we see the class broken down by weeks, topics, and assignments. So I went through and I tried to break it down, what week we were on. So week 1 is January 7th through the 11th. What topic you're working on. This week it's Let's Get Started. You're meeting me. You're looking at the class. You're going to look a little bit at Canvas and answer a discussion forum. So this week, you are in charge of getting your supplies, getting software, and introducing yourself to us. You can see Sneak Ahead next week. We're going to start looking at camera and editing photographs. That'll be January 14th through 18th. You can see, I'm going to read chapter 1. I'm going to do a discussion posting and respond to 2 other posts. And I have to do my project, which will be an Elements scavenger hunt, as well as submit it to Flickr. So again, if you have questions, make sure you scroll through, let me know, and I will do the best I can to help you out. Let me return again to that module page. So the rest of Let's Get Started is important. It's things like online etiquette. You can go through these on your own time, how to communicate online. Things like the code of conduct, which is also, again, very important. Our policy that's taken from the OCC student handbook, make sure you take some time to look through that. And there is a nice overview about Canvas. I know that not everybody has used Canvas before, and that's awesome. If I click on this link, it will take me straight to that Canvas video, so I can watch and learn about Canvas itself. So again, I am looking forward to having you in my course. I'm excited to see some awesome photography. We are going to start at the basics and build up. So if you find yourself in the beginning weeks being kind of bored with the assignments, just know that I try and start a little bit with the technical, and then I move to a more kind of creative, thematic project basis after we've talked a little bit about how to use a camera, what ISO, what aperture, what shutter speed means. So what I always tell all my classes is that the very beginning, it's a little bit like boot camp. I'm just trying to get the basics down so that I can move on and I can kind of go beyond that. So, all right. I hope you guys have a great day, and make sure you check out the rest of Module 1.